What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk More Action Golf. I'm your host, Luke Josepha, and I'm excited to have you join me for episode 2. Now, in today's episode, we'll give you a recap of our first putting clinic. We'll share some exciting news about winter activities and share my opinion of a golf book I read recently. So if you're not sitting down, I suggest you find somewhere quick because this episode is fully loaded. We're going to take a quick moment to let you settle, and we'll be right back. Now, let's take a moment to recap the putting clinic we had this week. Now, this putting clinic was weeks, months in the making. So when I first started this channel, first on Instagram and then to this podcast, the goal was to create an opportunity for weekend golfers to learn from one another, create a good community where people can enjoy a moment together while learning all together. And that's where the putting clinic was born. I got together with my coach, Norman Carter, and I said, hey man, I think it'd be great because there are a number of people that I play with that could use, some tips around putting. So we put together this fantastic event and we put it out there, give everyone who's looking to sharpen their skills on the green an opportunity to have an hour and a half of dedicated time where golfers can show up and hear a player coach who's been in this for decades talk about all the aspect as he breaks down the different parts of putting. Now, let me tell you, it was an insightful session that was packed with actionable tips. Norman covered everything from grip, stance, to reading the greens and controlling speed. Now, one of the highlights of this was his deep dive into the frequently asked questions around putting. Things like, how do you handle a tricky downhill putt? How to stay consistent under pressure? And he even shared tips for overcoming those 3 dreaded putts. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. You get on the green in 2 and then you 3-putt. You get on the green in 3 and then you 3-putt. Even worse, sometimes you 4 or 5-putt. It was clear from the questions and the way that people engage with each other that they were eager to take their putting game to the next level. Norman's ability to simplify even the most complex part of putting really resonated with me, and I think it resonated even more with the group. So there were a few beginners, there were a couple of people who were just getting together with golf, and guess what? It really helped them. It added real value to their golf game. And that was extremely valuable thing. So if you weren't able to make this one, don't even worry about it. We're about to host another clinic in the next few weeks. And trust me, it's going to be amazing. One of the guys that participated in the clinic, I played with him the next day. And I'm telling you, this guy in the morning before we started the round, he said, yo, Luke, man, I can already see some changes in my putting just from yesterday's clinic. That was a quick recap of this clinic. I mean, for me, this was a great achievement. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk to you all about me joining a winter golf league. I am so excited and I cannot wait to tell you about it. We'll be right back. All right, let's talk Winter Golf League. Now, if you're a weekend golfer and you're looking to improve your game just like I am, you want to be able to stay active during the off season, and you want to have some real good fun, joining a winter league golf might just be the perfect move for you. Because during a winter golf league, you're able to prepare yourself to get, anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself. let me just tell you about the golf league that I'm about to join. Now, it's an interesting story because my golf buddy who invited me to this league is someone that I had been playing with and someone I actually look up to in terms of their playing ability, their focus, consistency, in terms of doing really well and taking the game seriously. He's invited me in the past to sub for one of his partner, and we really got to talk. And I said, "Hey, I'm really interested in this." He let me know. He said, "Listen, the next time, it's gonna start over, I'll let you know." And true to his word, he hit me up and said, "Hey, the league is about to start." And I thought, why not jump into it? And of course, if I'm doing something and I'm sharing with you all know that I do my research, right? So I want to share with you all today some of the benefits and maybe one or two disadvantages of why I'm joining this league. And I hope that you can take from what I'm saying here to determine whether joining a golf league is the right thing for you. Now, let's start talking about the benefits. First and foremost, leagues, they provide the structure. They help you to be more focused instead of aimlessly hitting balls on the range or playing every now and then. You have a schedule that keeps you on track with the league. And I tell you, that level of consistency, knowing that you have a schedule, will keep you on the right path of improving your game. Another big benefit is the competition. I'm a competitive person. It's also a great way for me, the way that I'm looking at it, I will be able to identify some of my strengths and weaknesses in a real game environment. Now, let's not forget, leagues are fun. It gives you a chance to unwind. You bond with other golfers, even though you guys are competing, but you have an opportunity to bond, right? And I don't know, maybe I'll win something. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to brag, that I participated in the Winter Golf League and I won something because I'm going over there. Someone invited me and I don't like to disappoint. So if I'm invited, I want to show up in the right way so I can show out and definitely have something. Now, of course, in everything, there are some disadvantages. And some of the things that I'm thinking about that may be a disadvantage for me, and definitely things that I need to consider, is that, one, I'm getting a little older, right? I'm about to hit 50 in a few months. So the weather's definitely going to affect how my body moves, right? It's going to be colder. So that means I may need to stretch, warm up properly before I get on the course because I'm going to be dealing with colder temperature. And of course, even in the way that I hit the ball, my club selections are going to be very different in the winter. And if it rains, I still got to show up. Unless they cancel, I got to show up. So I got to make sure that I'm prepared to have a really good time, but I'm also prepared to deal with whatever nature throws at me. There's also time commitment, although I don't see that as a disadvantage at all, because being able to schedule out a block of time ahead so your family's involved, you let your family know every Tuesday or Thursday or whenever it is, it's gonna be well. And I'm looking forward to that, to be able to have a dedicated time where, I don't have to say, well, I may be playing, I may not be playing, but no, it's a block of time that's already been dedicated. So everyone, your family's aware, and that's the exciting part for me. So you're going to have a schedule. So that may be challenging for some people, depending on what your schedule calls for, right? It may be a disadvantage because you may not be able to go all the time at the same time. So that's something to think about. I want to share with you all how I'm preparing for this. Now, I always take good care of my clubs. But if I tell you that every time I'm done with the round, I come home, I spend time cleaning, I'd be lying. For this golf league, I'm taking the time to really do that. Right now, all my clubs have been cleaned. They're laid out correctly. Everything in my bag is cleaned. I'm even trying to do a little bit of like a tiger move, meaning like wearing green because the logo for Let's Talk More Action Golf is green. Maybe wearing green every time I get on the tournament. You never know. But I'm trying to create the proper mood, the proper feel to help me build all my confidence when I go there. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing to get ready. The other thing I'm doing too, and we are going to talk about how I got to this point, because the second thing is connected to my book review that I'm going to share with you all, is to adjust my expectation and my strategy. So I know where we're going to be playing. So I've already taken the time to review the scorecard, to review the layout, and it gave me an opportunity to really understand where I'm going to be playing and how I'm going to be playing. So I need to be able to adapt. I need to be able to understand exactly how I'm walking into this. I'm taking time to practice. So that's a no-brainer. The other day, I practiced in the rain just to make sure that I was ready. So I just wanted to share with you all, what I'm doing in this Winter Golf League. And there's going to be more to come, because my goal is to share with you every time that I play around, share what happened well, what I didn't like, what area that I'm looking to improve. So I hope there are people out there who are going to also participate in the golf league, and you could share information with me. Hit me up, DM me, and let me know how it's going for you. All right? So we're going to take another break. When I get back, we're going to talk about this book that I read that really made an impact on me. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, y'all, we back. And we dive in today. Well, this is my first book review, because if I'm in something, I want to make sure that I understand it through and through. And this book is one of the first books that I decided I'm going to invest in. I have another golf book. In fact, I have two other golf books that people have given me, Zen Golf and Golf for Dummies. That was the very first book that I bought when I first started even thinking about playing. And the Zen Golf was a recommendation from one of my coworkers. In fact, a few weeks after she made the recommendation, I was playing with this guy, and he actually gave me a copy. He had a copy of it in his car, and then he told me, meet him in the parking lot and give me a copy of it. But this book I'm about to review now is the first book that I've actually gone out and said, okay, I want to invest in this book. So I want to share, my impression of the book with you all. So Jon Shermanâ is a player coach. If you type his name up on YouTube, there are plenty of videos about his feedback that he shares. So he put this book together and calls it 4 Foundation of Goals. And frankly, for me, this is one of the most practical approaches I've ever come across in any book. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about focusing on the areas that actually matter for lowering your score. And who wouldn't want to have lower scores? So I'm going to give you all just a little tidbit on what I thought about the book. Just to get you started, when you first look at the book, it's a little thick. The book virtually reads itself. That's how it is easy to read. It's accessible. The book is broken down in 4 parts. It talks about managing your expectations, decision-making, practice efficiently, and it focuses on physical and mental performance. Now let's start backwards, right? Let's think about who we are as a person, right? We need to be physically, if we are to play golf, we need to be physically capable of swinging the club, walking up to the ball. We need to be able to do that. Golf is not just a physical game, it's also a mental one. And Sherman talks about the importance of fitness, nutrition, and managing our emotions during a round. Now, I think about fitness a lot, right? I want to make sure that I'm healthy. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I've selected to exclusively walk now when I play golf. But nutrition is something that I'm still struggling with. Some days I go play golf, and for 4 hours, I'm playing golf on an empty stomach. Sometimes I just drink a little bit of coffee and I go and I play. I often do not hydrate correctly or sufficiently. So, it's really a problem. Nutrition is something that I never really thought about when I'm playing golf. The third one is about managing your emotions during the round. And I really appreciate that because he goes into detail about saying how you react to a bad shot affects not just the next shot, but it can completely affect your round. Then he talks about if we go from 4 to 3, he talks about practice efficiency. Now, for practice, we talked about this before. It's very important to practice in a way where you're thinking about quality over quantity. And Jon Shermanâ talks about that a lot. He deals with a lot of information on what and shares some ideas on what makes an efficient practice round. Now, everyone has the different ways, but this book gives you the right framework in order to do that. The next part of the book talks about decision making. Now, we all know when we're playing golf, we are selecting target. We're making a decision. We're making a decision based on knowledge that we have. Well, I know that I hit my 7-iron about 160. So you're making a decision based on what's going on in the environment, wind, elevation, lie, on which club that you're selecting. You're making a decision on where you want the ball to land or where you hope that the ball will land. So all of that is around decision making. And Sherman shares some really good idea on how to make really good decision, on how to select a smart target. This is my impression of the book. I really enjoyed it. I've begun to properly manage my expectation. I'm walking more. I'm being more mindful about my nutrition now, which has definitely improved my level of stamina when I'm playing around. So those are my thoughts. If you've read the book, I'd like to hear your thoughts. So share them with me on Instagram. Hit me up, hit my DM. Let's talk more action golf so I can hear what your thoughts are. Well, that's a wrap for me on this episode. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And I hope to hear from you throughout the week. If not, you'll be hearing from me next week. Let's talk more action golf, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk More Action Golf podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. A big shout out to our producer and creative director, Ajane Josepha, for bringing the show to life. And a special thank you to Sid Mac for our fantastic music. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on your favorite platform. Follow us on social media for the latest update and exclusive content at Let's Talk More Action Golf. I'm your host, Luke Josepha. Until next time, keep swinging easy, and remember, let's talk more action golf.
Life's a maze, keep your head high when you going through it. I saw dead bodies licking the eyes of the living, held back cause you held back from making bigger decisions. We get lost, but this journey comes with us down, that's a given. That's a given. That's a given. We get lost, but the journey comes with us down, that's a given. That's a given.
Let's talk more action golf.